The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour. As always, doesn't matter where you're at. Could be Tippecanoe. Could be Lutz, Florida. We always like it to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have? Well, market is way up again, selling the sizzle, not the steak, in going after what everybody thinks is a done deal. But everything I hear from my deep inside the Beltway sources say it's anything but a deal. So maybe they know something I don't. But it certainly looks like right after we had some good news in the housing sector. The market was up a little bit. Futures were. They really took off when the Treasury Secretary basically tried to, I'm going to say from what I heard, he was intimating a stimulus deal was done, although he said it was possible. It looked like it's possible with a wink, wink, nod, nod, sure thing, coming, have at it, boys. I don't think it is. I have a inside feeling that there's literally nothing that's going to happen, but I've always been a little skeptical. I just think that maybe they're selling a lot. So you got two ways to win. One, sell the news when it does come out. The second is it doesn't come out and we give up all these wins in a big hurry. So maybe there's a little bit more higher, but man, are they putting the cart before the horse? I suspect I would have felt a lot better. Anyway, 33.90 on the S&P cash, up 543. Nasdaq's up 187. Russell's up 16. Got some questions already that maybe a lot of this is political, and I'm going to say that there isn't anything new on that front. At least the instant polling this morning pretty much says what everybody already knew. There's not nobody made any changes last night during the debates. And someone asked me who won the debate. And I'm going to say that neither party lost, but I do think that Chris Wallace was the big loser last night. Now he has nobody liking him. He failed to get done what he thought he should get done for the left. And, of course, the right are just as mad as it for being a political hack. So, you know, he going into it said, I want to be small. I don't want to even be noticed. But, yeah, he was, as James Wood said last night in the debate between Donald Trump and Chris Wallace, Trump won very well. And that's the way I felt. It was, I think, kind of when you get into these kind of situations, if everybody isn't acting right, let them go at it. Let's see what they actually are made of. When things get down and when things get in the rough, when people start calling them names, how do people react? That's kind of a good. I mean, I don't think we're going to learn a great deal of new things in these debates, right? Everybody kind of already knows. This is kind of one of these things where you want to see the people at their best and their worst. And this is at the worst. So did you learn anything other than Chris Wallace? is probably not well respected with his colleagues now on either side and on either channel. He tried to do something, couldn't get it done, and of course, anyway. My big problem was with Chris Wallace last night. It wasn't with either of the candidates. I think they did exactly what they were and what they're doing. Question is whether or not we get a second debate now or not. But I don't think it matters. At least the instant polling says that everybody that had the same opinion on Monday was of the same opinion this morning for the most part. No one really made much of a change. I think people that were already leaning one way may just lean a little bit farther that way already. So I don't think this is so much political as the whole stimulus thing. And my thought is, how did the debate? Well, the only thing I saw was the overall numbers, where maybe because Chris Wallace was on, that Fox did massively better than the other channels covering it. But again, I think that happens with all those. If CNBC or CNN host them, I think they always get the lion's share. But they were pretty good. But that was it. It didn't really matter. Anyway, my opinions aside, market's up strong. The question is whether or not we've got any volume to actually track this. And so far, we're doing about 5.7 billion shares. So again, I'm not very happy about having previous highs with significantly lighter volume. The other thing I dislike in this market is seeing that we're really not seeing a lot of change in the overall advanced decline line over several days, which is what the summation index is. But what else can you say? It's a market going up with fewer stocks, and that always makes me nervous. And when everybody gets the cart in front of the horse by a great deal, it makes me nervous. Now, maybe they know something, but generally when they know something, that reflects into the options market, and it has not. Options are about where they were a couple of days ago before we started heading higher. They still suspect that we're going to give all this up fairly quickly. They could be wrong, and I do not have any money, either long or short, until I see this issue resolved, because it is one of these that literally you wake up and you find out that maybe there is a $2.5 trillion stimulus package that I didn't think would ever pass. And maybe the market goes up for 200 points more on the S&P cash. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's a $500 billion deal and the market goes down 200 points. I don't mind trading intraday, but going overnight, I think right now is far much more a gamble than it is a prudent speculation. So I'll be back in a minute. We'll look at some charts. Kind of at the high end of the trading range of a couple of them we've been talking about. We'll talk about Micron's earnings. Got a lot of stuff to do today. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we get back here. Of course, very light volume up and down in the markets. That really hasn't changed. A great deal of stocks out there with lower highs and higher lows. Those generally have huge breaks when they do come. We were waiting for Planeteer, whatever, PLTR, to start trading. And I think I'm seeing some tricks out here at about $10.73. That's up about 50% from the 750. And I do want to talk about that. There's another one, ASAN, up 35%. Both of these are new IPOs, and they are direct listings versus IPOs. Direct listings mean that whatever shares existed when it was a private company become public, instead of an IPO where brand new shares are developed and an underwriter like J.P. Morgan or Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs gets together to help push the market out. Both of this, the ASAN, which is, what I want to say here, Asana, which is a software company that makes software that's not that much different than Microsoft Teams, but it's probably a little bit more generic for all kinds of team-oriented tasks, like development of products, but maybe a little less technical than what Teams is, which is really kind of focused on software development or very involved process, like building a plane, that kind of stuff. Things that are incredibly technical. Asana is a product itself, ASANA, and they're up nice. So keep an eye on that one, ASAN. As I said, yeah, we got ticks here, $10.65 for Planeteer, which would be up of its ideal $7.50 move. But an interesting company. I've gone through the books on that one because I wanted to see what was going on. And I don't know if there's a whole lot you can say other than that. Another one out there is VLDR. I believe that's one of those development companies, blank checks. But apparently, from what I've read, there's already somebody getting ready to jump into that one. It's down 20%, though, on the day. Anyway, direct listings mean that you really don't have the same kind of people pushing on the stock like Goldman Sachs and trying to upgrade it and downgrade it. In fact, the last time that I can remember that the gatekeepers, let's just call them the mob of Wall Street, because they are kind of like the Cosa Nostra or the mafia for Wall Street. You have to kind of go through them, was Google. And man, were they nasty to Google for about 3 or 4 years running before they got off it and decided, well, we can't just say niet that much longer. And they kind of took them off the brown list. But I don't suspect that any of these companies are going to be any different. And that is, I expect these big companies that didn't get to cash in for an IPO will probably badmouth these companies for a while. PLTR, of course, into, I think more than half of its business is in the cloak and dagger business of U.S. government and others. They do 50% of a lot of background stuff for watching military, finding out what people are posting online, making sure that they are not showing pictures of nuclear reactors from our submarine fleet. If you've got a bunch of people out there with smartphones doing stupid stuff with the government, secrets. So they do watch that. They do the same thing for many Fortune 500 companies. So they are a little bit big brotherish, but they recently moved to from California to Colorado just to escape the people that don't want to do anything for the U.S. government, but don't have any problem doing it for incredibly more evil companies like China. So, get out to the west there. I just don't understand it. But anyway, today, keep a look on those three. That pretty much closes the window on the big IPOs. I guess I shouldn't call it an IPO, but Planeteer, probably about $25 billion that went out the door today. That is just short of what normally we get for fund buying, which is about $30 billion. So maybe everybody has sold what they needed for some of these new IPOs. I don't see a lot happening in the new IPOs that would take a lot of cash. So maybe some of the big drag in the market's already over. Maybe that's part of what we see today. I don't think so, though. I think that money was raised for this, and probably people are going to sit on it for a while. What I do know is that there is tremendous interest in PLTR from the retail client sector that and again, it's probably because you don't have J.P. Morgan and the rest really pushing this because it's not in their economic benefit to do so. Okay. We're up 43 points. Is that right? 42 points. Okay. Other things going on. Oh, we forgot to do a little history. We need to get to that, don't we? Okay.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1955, 24-year-old actor James Dean is killed in California when the Porsche he's driving hits a Ford two-door sedan at an intersection. The driver of the other car, 23-year-old California Polytechnic State University student Donald Turnipseed. Is there really somebody called Turnipseed? I don't know. Now I'm worried about this article. Was dazed but mostly uninjured. Dean's passenger, German Porsche mechanic, Rolf Wuthrick was badly injured but survived. And, of course, he was racing the thing and driving it back and forth to the track, which is always something. If you wreck your car, how do you get home? But back then, that was part of it. But this day in 1955, they've looked for forever for that car. The only thing I know that they ever found was the hood of it, though, and it still hasn't turned up. We'll be back in a minute. We'll start looking at some charts, some other stuff. But like I said, watch for some vicious action on headlines. We're pretty much at the point where they either have to pass the stimulus bill or pay the price. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And on the list of things to talk about is Micron's earnings. Not a lot out there in the way of earnings coming up in the next few weeks, handful of stocks. But we are getting kind of close, actually. Before I start talking about that, let me think about what we've got going on here. Who is it? Yeah. 13th. That's a Tuesday. All day long, by the way. It'll be Tuesday. JP Morgan, Citigroup, Johnson & Johnson, Fastenal start the hit parade of earnings. after that night, we don't have much. The 14th, we start getting a few stocks in the oil patch, Kansas City Southern on that Wednesday. We start getting a lot more. It's kind of a spits and spatters. Tuesday the 20th, Philip Morris, Procter & Gamble. That's kind of it for that on that morning. But Tuesday the 20th, the evening, Netflix. So we've got, well, what's today? The 30th. So we've got, what, almost 2 weeks, not quite, 13 days, 11 days. And we're going to start getting into this. And, of course, I would love to see the market wash out and get ready for these earnings. Probably for the ones that are coming up, the earnings are going to be fairly good. As I said, I wanted to get into Micron. Earnings were good. They said that maybe this quarter was going to be a little light, mostly because, as I've been talking about for the last few months, they build a new kind of memory for these video cards. It is very high margin, but their yields have not been good on it. For any product you make, you're going to have to throw a few in the trash. The problem with this new memory is that they haven't got the process down. They think they've got it licked. They think that the margins on this will be only increasing over the next couple of years. They are the only company in town that builds this for cards like NVIDIA and AMD. So they have a virtual monopoly. I'm never one to short a virtual monopoly, even in horrible times. There are a lot of companies that don't have this, that have big problems. They also said because of COVID that where they were projecting somewhere around 400 million new smartphones with 5G in it between now and the first quarter of next year, they kind of have that just because everybody, especially Apple, is late, maybe 30 days, 45 days to getting phones out. So they don't think that overall that's going to mean a big problem. But right now, everybody's kind of nervous, especially about chips in China, other stuff like that. I think this is probably, we'll see, but I think this is probably the wind-up for what's happened. Generally, the market looks 6 months ahead, and I think on this weakness, not today, I think this is probably a good buy here. Not good buy, but a worthful buy. Maybe in the next week or so. I'd like for this thing to come out. Volume's a little higher today. But again, on earnings, a lot of people pushing this. It has been hard to see any company with a virtual monopoly that hasn't gone higher in the last few years. And again, like I said, when you look at the companies that really been printing money, AMD has done it at the expense of Intel, and NVIDIA has done it at the expense of AMD. Now, you could make a case that we get up to $570 on NVIDIA, and maybe there's nothing good there. But, man, their products are good. I mean, there's a few chances. What would you say if you made a product and it was, let's say it was, you were thinking about buying a pickup, and you were looking at Ford and Chevy, and the new product from Ford came out, and 90% of the people wanted the Ford. Maybe not everybody could get it. Eventually that'll get caught up, but you want to be in Chevy when everybody still wants to buy a Ford. And that is the problem with AMD on video cards. That same problem exists between AMD and Intel, because no one wants right now to buy, at least at the consumer level or the gaming level or anything other than the server market, really wants to buy Intel. You're up at least a little bit on AMD, but I think the future of AMD, unless they make a huge hurdle and quantum jump in technology, is not going to be in video cards. They absolutely have nothing to compete with NVIDIA for machine learning. And literally on the game market, now that NVIDIA has gone to pricing their new card at $700 that has twice the performance of the one that used to be $1,200, I can't imagine that NVIDIA for 6 months gets even challenged by AMD, and especially if you are on the machine learning level. Their new the 3080s and 3090s are such incredible crushers that people like me have already got orders in. Well, I've got orders in for 4 of them. So I'm going to be one of the biggest customers of NVIDIA on a personal level, and that's just all for machine learning itself. You can give me a call, 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always leave a message in the den. I think we got some email out here. Take a quick look at the SMHs for Ron. I mean, here's where I really dislike the market at the moment. Like I said, it's all headline driven. I don't know what a handful of people are going to do. I've been saying that for 5 days. What are the 2 leaders on each side of the House and Senate and the president all going to get together in an election cycle? I am doubtful, skeptical, perplexed, but also know that this could go either way and in a real hurry. Last time we pushed up higher in the SMHs was with almost 2 million shares. Not doing too bad today, 1.7 million shares. So you're probably going to go a little higher than that and get out of it. The downside is you're running into resistance on this huge down day on September 3rd that had almost 7 million shares. So there isn't a clear view out here. The easiest money is in off the bottom. You would have liked to seen a lot more volume in the SMHs coming up. But again, a lot of short sellers in these ETFs, and I don't think that changes a great deal of anything. Is there a sweet spot to step in for NVIDIA for long-term hold? I generally don't wait until they've gone this far high without a decent pullback. I don't think I'd be wanting to risk anything in this stock unless you had a retest of 468, that September 8th low on lighter volume. And you might get it in a heartbeat if you get some wrong news in the market. So I just wouldn't chase it up here. We'll be back in a minute.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get the competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And Rhonda says, what's going on with JP Morgan? They had to pay $1 billion and no one sees any difference in the price. Well, most of this stuff takes 3-6 months, sometimes years to come to fruition. And of course, JP Morgan, if I'm remembering the article from this morning, got their hands caught in the cookie jar manipulating gold prices and gold futures. And the answer is, you could get all mad, or you could go look at 20 other companies where you can make money. And I'd say do the latter. I don't see. I kind of for years did get all wound up on this kind of stuff, but it doesn't make any money. Doesn't make me any money, and it doesn't make me happier. And getting into this stuff isn't going to lead to any kind of profits. Or much smarter down the line. So, hey, guess you just have to live with some of this stuff. Yep, just get over it. Let them pay the fines, and that's it. So I'm not a big. I used to be, but again, probably makes for good radio. It doesn't make for good profits, though. Okay, other things going on. Well, we have been kind of sliding. We're up 31 points on the S&P cash. Some people, now 27, some people saying that maybe the Pollyanna approach to the stimulus for COVID is maybe not as rosy as everybody thought, but we shall see. I dislike all the conditions here. As I've said before, I wouldn't be surprised to see the thing go up 100 points and then down 200 points on the S&P cash in a matter of a day. I wouldn't be surprised to see sell the news. Wouldn't be surprised by a failure in that, because I think if we do go down 200 points, they will see the sword of Damocles hanging over the heads of many in the halls of power, and they'll figure out maybe they actually do need to do something. But generally, unless you hold a gun on those folks, nothing happens. And that's generally why I think you get a failure, you get some kind of resolution, and then the market goes back higher, which is basically what we looked at back in 2008 when we talked about the inability to pass a bailout bill for Lehman Brothers and the rest. Was it yesterday, wasn't it? Or the day before? Where in 2008, they blew up the stock market, had the worst day ever in the stock market because of the failure to act. I think that's kind of what it takes. And a couple days later after that, they started figuring out that it was time to act. And I don't know. We may have a lot more knowledge, but I don't think human nature changes. I think a lot of people think it does. But my guess is that there's nothing like a big 1,000-point down day in the Dow to focus our government employees that we elected. Okay, so what else? We talked about Micron. We talked about all the new listings and how they're different. Did I really talk about anything else? Oh, I did want to talk about the deal with Microsoft. So let's get into that. I posted it earlier in the den. Microsoft made a deal. Man, now I'm... See if I can get back up here where I actually posted it. Okay, because I know it's back up here. I'll think of it in a minute. Okay. Again, I thought it was right around this time frame. Datadog, thanks. I couldn't remember which one I was talking about earlier. Datadog, a big company in, they call it dashboards. Some people call it, what's the other technical, semi-technical term? Not translucence, but where you can kind of see through things. Anyway, it is kind of the gas gauge, the temperature gauge, the oil gauge of what's happening on your cloud systems. That is from Datadog. So not a big deal for Microsoft. Datadog, though, was up 15% on the day. It did blow out the previous high by a long figure. July 9th was $89.99 on 5 million shares. You got 25 million shares already. Got up to 107.99. This was another stock that had a lot of people that were short. If you close back below 98.99 today, that would be a rather bearish signal. But a pretty good deal for Datadog now that their services can run as a first-tier client on the Azure Microsoft system. So probably much bigger for Datadog than it is for Microsoft, just from the size of the company. But being able to basically flip a switch and have their product start to work on Azure cloud systems, pretty big deal, especially for a small company. And again, I want to say translucent, but that's not it. Oh, not opaque. What's the opposite of opaque? I'm going to think of the word that all the insiders at the cloud systems do. Do I have to, may actually have to go and say, send for cloudy, filmy, blurred, smeared, hazy, misty, dirty. Well, I'll think of it eventually. Anyway, there is a word that the cloud systems folks talk about, and that is just being able to see through everything that's going on a cloud system like Amazon Web Services or the rest. So a big deal for Datadog today, huge volume, huge breakout. Like I said, the thing you have to watch is this instantly goes back under the previous high. Right now, 102.75. So you got about $4, $5. So if we had some really bad news, it wouldn't be beyond the scope of reason. Now, one of the things, like I said, is one of the reasons I don't like to be short any stock that has huge short interest. Sang was, I think, about 10% short, although I don't have the latest. Yeah, I do have the latest data. About 9% short. Days to cover, we're probably running around 3 or 4. But on several days higher, last week actually kind of averaging out higher. Pretty easy to run those shorts out in a market like this. We'll be back in a minute.
back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by BAM! As well as
whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that will take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam! David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And someone made a comment in the den about putting in a Generac generator, standby generator. I bought one several years ago, but of course we're down here in Florida. The downside was that after we had no power for a day, the internet backups, which are set to run about 8 hours, ran out, and then that was it. And even when you went to to try to use the internet across phone lines, it was too busy. Smartphones, it was too busy to get anything done. And, of course, all the other ones had also gone out. So, yeah, I mean, if you're not talking about getting hit by a hurricane, you can tether your phone to your computer and use that for an internet and get your trades at least out the door. But, yeah, I've got UPSs, I've got a backup generator, and I have the ability to hook my phone up to the PC to get at least a low-speed connection to get in and out of trades. Yeah, those batteries on the poles for the internet for that stuff, they just don't last that long. They do have backups on them, but 8 hours is generally pretty good for the one around here. That's with Spectrum, which used to be Comcast, which used to be something else, but you never know. So a lot of things looking out here. Again, very much a headline-driven market. We're now up 22 points. We're getting to the point where we do have a ticking time bomb. And that time bomb is all those folks that need at least a bridge to reopening. And I don't think it has to be that huge. I just like to see the washout and then the recovery. And then I think maybe we could plan for higher prices for this fall. Sell when you can, not when you have to. I will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.